I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Almighty Creator of the universe, we ask you to look down with your healing hand this afternoon and be with Deputy Craig Bridges' daughter, who was severely injured in a traffic accident this morning and is now at shock trauma. Please help her and the family all you can. We ask in your precious Son's name. Amen.
Would you delegates quit wandering around? See, our professional politicians have things up long enough for the press to get it.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
The press stopped for a drink after the first meeting. One led to the second one, led to the third one. Okay, move along now. Gentlemen, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No, sir.
None.
Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as it is?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the December 3rd meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move into our presentations. Heard a dirty little rumor going around about a football team that hates to lose and does it very rarely. And when they do, they just come back and start a whole new string of victories. It's a great honor to have people here representing the Fort Hill football team. That's the state champs 3 years in a row. We have with us Principal Joseph Carter, Athletic Director Amber Waltz, Coach Todd Apple, and our team co-captains Timothy Friend and Luke Stegmeyer. Please, somebody come up and sing your own praises. Don't be humble, you're 4-0.
I know he can't sing.
Mr. Carter, then get Coach Apple up to say a few words.
It's pretty easy to sing the praises of these guys. I'll be very honest with you. It's an honor to be at Fort Hill and to see how these gentlemen carry themselves, what they do for our school. You know, I'll be here in a couple of months asking you for money for the Allegany Catholic Invitational Tournament that supports the developmentally disabled. Well, no one works anymore with those kids at Fort Hill than our football team. They call them football buddies. They eat lunch with them. They eat dinners with them. Anytime we have a pep rally and a victory assembly or whatever, those kids are with them. And I think, you know, you talk all the time about victories and state championships, but what they're doing in real life and what they're doing for our school is unbelievable. And I appreciate what Coach Apple does and the kids at Fort Hill, the kids that he coaches. They're great students, great athletes, and do what we need them to do and be school leaders. So, Coach Apple, it's all yours if you would like to say something.
Well, thanks for the invite. Appreciate it. And thanks for the honor. I should introduce the two football players there. One is not Luke Stegmeyer. I sent a memo over. I guess we didn't get it in time. But instead of Luke Stegmeyer, the guy right there with the sweatshirt on is Danny May. The other gentleman is Timmy Friend. They're our starting two guards. They're the 2 out of the 3 returning starters from last year's team, so we had to start anew. But they were great leaders, and they did a great job. Timmy's he's like a 4.04 GPA kid who can probably write his ticket to anywhere. Not so much football, but he can use that as an avenue. But through academics, he'll be able to do that. And then Danny May, who's a tremendous person. He won't say many words, and I told him that he was going to speak tonight. He was like, no. But he's a great person. He's another kid that does well in his academics, and he's one of the most tenacious and toughest offensive linemen that we've ever had with great ability. And I'm just pleased that we have good kids at Fort Hill. I don't know what the stereotype is at Fort Hill, but I just know the reality. And the reality is that we have good kids who work extremely hard, both on and off the field, and I'm very blessed to be a part of it. So thanks again for having us over. And maybe since I've seen Senator Edwards here, and you got connections with Annapolis, that maybe we'll be invited down there too, because the kids always ask to go down there and do the tour of Annapolis. So if you know anything about that, Jake, we'd appreciate it.
We'll keep you in the loop.
All right. Thank you very much.
I actually talked to the governor. I was trying to get him to stop at the school Saturday night on your way back, but he was sort of spoken for that night.
Yeah, I'm sure he was a busy guy.
I don't
know but I want to mention Amber Walsh, who's our athletic director. She does a great job for us. This is her first year thrown into the fire, and she's been a great reference, a great resource for me as a football coach and the school in general. So I wanted to acknowledge Amber.
Would you like for you all to come forward? Good, Amber.
While everyone's coming up, I think it's been known that that is Commissioner Valentine's alma mater. He was there the first year that Fort Hill High School was open. So,
It's still thinking of that.
Yeah, you have.
Don't talk to me from Allegheny. It's not only is he from Allegheny, but he's wearing blue and white tonight.
That's great.
Sucker for punishment.
That's right.
Okay, this is an official Allegheny County government citation. Be it hereby known to all that the Board of Commissioners publicly recognizes and extends congratulations to Fort Hill Sentinels football team, State Class 1A Championship, Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association 2015 State Football Tournament, Fort Hill's 5th state and 3rd consecutive state football title, Baltimore, Maryland, December 5th, 2015. Allegheny County Commissioners, Public Business Meeting, December 17, 2015, signed by all 3 county commissioners, William Valentine, Creed Brody, rejection. We appreciate everything all of you.
Congratulations. That 155 weight class, I'm cut it up front.
You're seeing a lot of
it's not. Yes, sir. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
You're seeing a lot more.
You know, even though I'm a Bell alumni, my wife is a graduate of Fort Hill, so there's nothing that goes on at Fort Hill, especially with the football, that I miss. Coach, that'd be a good question. Watching Fort Hill football since 1986.
That was my senior year.
Mine also. So that's how I. But you know, there seems like a following that Fort Hill has that Alan was really involved in Mountain Ridge, especially with the football team and stuff. I have never seen nothing in my life like the following Fort Hill has that follows its football team. That people will get out and volunteer and work and go to all kinds of activities. There's no school in the area that can brag on that, such as you guys can. So, what does that, Coach? What, Mr. Carter, you're down. What, you know?
Fort Hill has a certain living presence, like a spirit, and I've learned to love it when I went there.
Yeah.
Went back there because of that, and I think a lot of people have that same mentality, that spirit, so to speak, and they love it. And we're very thankful that they do, and they come out in droves. And if you ask them for stuff within the means, you know, we do live in South End, so we're not living on higher hills and big mansions, but they try to help as much as they can, and we're thankful about that.
Absolutely. I wish the rest of the county, and I'm being serious about that, could take a page out of you guys' book. Like I say, there's nothing that's on Fort Hill, especially the football team. My wife doesn't follow, you know. during the
It's all
game.
positive.
Well, no, absolutely. You know, we couldn't talk, we couldn't do nothing but listen, which is very good. So, but thank you guys.
And for me, I'm the new guy there. I've only been there, it's my second year, but I think what they have on their shirt says a lot. I think the tradition there is unbelievable. It's unheard of. It's when you go to a game, there's not very many schools that when the band comes down the steps or in the stadium and plays Anchors Away, that people come to their feet. I've only ever seen that on the college level, and that's what they do. It's part of that tradition, and these guys keep it going year after year, and it's a pleasure to be a part of. I know that.
The great thing was when they redid Greenway Stadium, they kept their hands off the Fort Hill steps. Those things have not changed in decades, and hopefully they never will.
Well, we look forward to seeing you back here many more times in the next few years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you all. All right, next we have a economic development update by one of our unsung heroes, Mr. Jeff Barkley.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioners. What a welcome. And let's continue with the positive attitude and the good news. That was great. If you would indulge me for just a few minutes, I would like to report on some of the things that have been happening in the county. And the first thing I wanted to mention was webstaurantstore.com. I know our office had reported that in September, I believe, for a business retention visit, that they had 172 employees there, and we've been hearing through the grapevine that number is now eclipsed 180, and I know they're still looking to hire more folks there, and if anyone's interested, they have their postings are on their website, and their descriptions there of what they're looking for. But it's definitely a good news situation for us.
Jeff, how many square feet building is that they're in down there?
That's 525,000 square feet. So that's quite a bit of real estate. And the most napkins you'll ever see in one place.
The only thing I've seen close to that was Dave's house, but I knew when I lived down in the road, it's a big building.
Always not too small.
Right. So that's definitely a good news item. Another situation kind of transitioning to LaVale, where a lot of the activity is very visible to folks in the county. We need to celebrate the opening of our 87-room Holiday Inn Express that opened in September. They're looking to try to get some partnerships going with Frostburg State for internship type situation, hospitality type thing, and he's really excited about the opportunity there. And then also the Winchester Court facility that was our developer of choice there, Pentex Ventures, has done a great job opening that store, 37,000 square feet. Aspen Dental, Mattress Warehouse, U.S. Cellular opened in October, and then Aldi and PetSmart opened up in November. And we had reports from all the tenants there that they're above and beyond the expectations that the patrons that have come there and walking through their stores and buying merchandise is off the charts, they claim. So if we could have, we'd put some more parking spaces in there to accommodate more. The other projects that are still ongoing, of course, is the Sheets, which they're making great headway there. And they've already kind of announced that they want to do a spring opening there with that store. And also the Cracker Barrel, as we can tell, they've got their signature brown siding on the building now. And I know our commissioners working hard to get them utilities at the site. They've also announced a spring opening. And I guess the thing that's happened of late that I'm sure everyone has noticed is that the Ponderosa took only about 2 days to come down there at that site. Once again, Pentex Ventures has agreed to develop that site, and it's already been announced, of course, that Buffalo Wild Wings wants to occupy that site. They're, again, very excited. It's a franchisee that's out of the Ohio area, and he's got, I think, more than a dozen stores in his portfolio. And it's kind of like he basically said, there's 2 times of the year to open either the Super Bowl or March Madness. So we're going to try to be real aggressive on this one. They want to be open for March Madness. So we're trying to take advantage of the weather that we're getting, the non-winter weather thus far. So we'll see how this thing plays out, but we're going to try to get them in there.
We need an Alhambra invitational party out there this year.
Very good. Yes. And I guess one thing that I'll kind of leave you with, it's more good news and more to come, of course, is the Hafer Funeral Home. Pentex Ventures, once again, has an option to develop that piece, and we've been waiting for State Highway to levy a decision on their traffic study. And the word is that we may be getting a response from them tomorrow.
Very good, Jeffrey, because let's see, it's been quite a while ago that actually you and I met with Deputy Secretary Jim Ports about this property, and then I was assured in September, its transportation meeting by District Engineer Tony Crawford, that project was going to be well underway and fast-tracked, and here it is almost Christmas, so I most certainly hope...
That was several months ago.
Yes, that if that does not come through tomorrow, please let me know, so we get on the horn with Senator Edwards. And
yeah, definitely will, but we're anticipating a positive response so that we can then move into the plan submittal phase of that project. And one thing that has helped in that regard is initially they were anticipating doing a sit-down restaurant at that facility, which of course ramped up some of the peak traffic flows into the site for that type of use. And I think what they've come up with now is to do a small strip center on the location, which kind of alleviated some of that peak traffic that you would see in evening hours. And I will say that they've already, they've been talking to several folks that have already said, build it and we will come. And they've already basically have almost a letter of intent from 2 fast casual eateries for the end caps on that facility.
Well, do us a favor, when you find out for sure when that's coming, if you could let Brian and Heather know quietly so they won't tell anybody, but give them kind of the heads up.
They do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll do that and keep it to themselves. So.
We'll do. So we definitely see, we love working with Pentex. Of course, they're delivering on what they're promising. And, we'll still deal with others as well. But we definitely see that there's a handful of other properties that need to be developed or redeveloped in the LaVale area. And of course, we'll entertain our other municipalities too at some point.
And we have at least one other nice, unique business that hopefully we can announce in like 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, we're working on some small businesses that have great growth potential, and we're trying to get them through the fire marshal process. But so we can't announce yet, but at some point here in the next month or two, and I was going to ask you, in the next month or two, I would love to come back and give status updates on those projects.
Good. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move into our action agenda. Mr. Bennett speaking about the Rocky Gap slots allocation, resolution 15-24.
Good evening, Commissioner. Well, as you know, according to state law, we convene the Local Development Council annually to work on the Rocky Gap slots allocation and make recommendations and adjustments to that plan. So we last amended this plan January 1st of this year. So this fall we reconvened in 3 separate meetings of the council and discussed how things were going so far. We listened to presentations from Alleghany College of Maryland, Frostburg State University, and their foundation, the fire board, and we had our own discussions as far as how we felt the money should be spent. So tonight we have a couple of recommendations or maybe tweaks to the plan for your approval. So during our final meeting on November 30th, we came up with a few things. The first recommendation being to simply extend the existing plan through June 30th of 2016. So we all felt, one, that would give us a little more time to look at how things were going and how the year was progressing. Also, it would line up better with our fiscal year, so it makes things a little easier on me. So that was our first suggestion, is simply hold things as they are for now and watch the rest of the year. The committee did also recommend to cap the amounts we've collected for fiscal year 15, which was just over $1,014,000. So that's what we collected in 15. We're estimating to be somewhere around $1.2 million so far for fiscal year 16. So that'll leave a little surplus. What the committee has recommended is that we sit on that for now, and as we reconvene in the spring, we'll talk about how we may allocate those funds. So that was our second change. Third change is a smaller change, is we established a subcommittee within our group who will in the future analyze any new kind of requests we may have come in. So we're going to look at all of our options as we go forward regarding any other changes. But long story short, what we recommended for now was to leave the allocation alone. And just for the record, that's 45% of the monies to Alleghany College, capped at $360,000. 25% of the monies to Frostburg State, capped at $200,000. 10% of the monies each to our PAYGO fund and to a capital fund here for Board of Ed capital projects. And then the remainder of the funds go to our local fire companies. And it's based on the first $10,000, the first responders at Rocky Gap to help them out. Anything over that gets divided equally amongst the fire companies. So that'll all stay in place as long as you commissioners agree to that. So tonight we're simply looking for your approval on that plan.
Gentlemen, do we have a motion to approve Resolution 15-24?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. You might want to recognize a couple members of the committee that are here in the audience.
Yeah, and I failed to mention John Sangiovanni, Steve Howard here. And thank them for their hours. We don't put a lot of hours into this one, so appreciate their help.
Thank you, because I know our fire departments most certainly appreciate that they can get, it's making a big difference.
Yeah, and I should mention Baldwin White was gracious enough to host us for all these meetings, so they were good hosts to us, so much appreciated.
And while we're on the subject of our scholarship program, last Thursday evening at Mako Banquet, I was honored to be able to accept a nice award on behalf of Alleghany County. Our scholarship program was given the Academy for Excellence in Local Governance Award. This award was actually approved by the University of Maryland and Mako too, so it truly is a statewide award. And it made it all that much better that Governor Hogan was on stage to congratulate us on this program. So as our committee is looking at that program, let's keep in mind, it's not broke, don't fix it. And this program is truly doing good. It's affecting the lives of a lot of students. Just yesterday, I got another packet of letters from students that have received this award. And the beauty of it is, we've got a letter from a student from Flintstone, 2 letters from students in Frostburg, 2 letters from students in Cumberland, a letter from a student in Barton. So this truly is benefiting students from all across the county. And it's going to pay economic and social benefits to our entire county for a long, long time. Mr. Paul, I'll let you go now.
I think you're well aware before I get started, Kevin Comoff recently had his knee replaced at work, and he was out for a while. And I think you're well aware that all the work that Steve Houghton and Larry Hopperson do at Fairgrounds. But when Kevin was out of commission, you had 2 guys that stand by, and another guy here, Sam Wilson, that help out a lot. And they donate a lot of their time. So I know you guys know that publicly appreciate you guys' help. So thank you. What we do every year, we have a pre-pace meeting. We bring the agendas of the commissioners because our intent is to apply for the water and sewer projects we discuss. So we want to make sure that the commissioners approve the agenda that the Public Works Department put together, and you're well aware of the projects and support. This is the proposed agenda. We do the morning with Allegany County, and then we bring Allegany, Frostburg, and Westernport and Lavelle in the afternoon. Allegany, Frostburg, and Westernport have been meeting with us for probably the 20-some years we've been started this meeting. Lavelle has recently come on the last couple of years. And this year, we've been in touch with Luke about their potential project in the future for water and sewer. And we've been discussing it for a while. And this change in your agenda, we think they will have representation there that day to talk about their water and sewer project. Representatives from USDA Rural Development, Maryland Department of Environment, and Maryland HUD will attend the meetings. And to show you how, Dave asked me the other day how long we've been doing these meetings, and formally we started 25 years ago. I think formally we probably started maybe 20 years ago. We actually have an agenda and sit down and talk all day. So they've been very productive. Those groups come back year after year, and they like the meetings, so that kind of think it speaks for itself, how successful we've been. And the interesting part of Westernport is that one of the first projects we discussed was the Westernport Water Plant addition. Jerome Laffey was the mayor at the time, and that's Mayor Laffey, the present Mayor Laffey's father, so it's kind of come around. Completed water projects. These are just real quick. We have got funding for all these projects. Rawlings, the 1 and 5 are part of the same project, a huge project, around $6 million that we completed in Rawlings. The water system there went out of business. The Fairgrounds transmission main. The reason we did that project to improve the available water in the multi-purpose building and our sprinkler system, and the pressure we did see a noticeable increase. Bowling Green improvements, that's the first phase. We completed that project. And Bald Knob Water, that's an extension from the Mount Savage water system. Underway projects. Underway means we have funding and we're either moving towards construction or we're under design. Creek Road is under design. We'll bid probably late winter, early spring. Route 36, we're waiting for approval from the agencies to move forward. This is an extension probably from around Woodcock Hollow, if you're familiar with that area, all the way to Route 47. And we'll talk about some next phases here in a few minutes. And Bowling Green water improvements, that's our phase 2. We have a lot of old lines in Bowling Green that are galvanized that need replaced. Here's kind of the crux of where we need your approval and make sure that you're happy with where we're moving. These are planned water projects. What this means is we've had people from the community or the county has initiated, and everyone except the Potomac River Water Plant, they have been initiated by the communities. Sunnyside and Prince Albert, they will tag on to the system I was talking about on Route 36. We have a trunk line down there. We've had significant, in past commissioner meetings, we've had people come in here and they have bad water, they want help. Both Sunnyside and Prince Albert. They have proposed funding for us, but we do not think that funding is affordable at this time, so we're working on trying to improve our grant loan ratio. That will be a big topic of discussion, both Sunnyside and Prince Albert down at the PACE meeting. Pond Circle's up in Midlothian. It's 16 families. They approached us last year. They're very interested. It's a good one because 100% of the people are for this project. We applied for funding last year and we were turned down. So normally what happens is we usually get turned down a year or two before we actually get the funding. So we're hoping to move forward with that one. Morningside and Judy Lane. Our Public Works Department actually met one evening late November with these people, and they like to move forward with the water project. Potomac River Water Treatment Plant, that's been on our radar for a while as a potential project to serve the Rawlings region, the Upper Potomac region. We have a permit for that plant, and it expires in 2017, so as we move forward, we'll have to decide how we want to move forward with that. Mason Road and Patmore, we've had interest from the community there. They're in the Bedford Road area. In Bedford Road, we did a huge study a couple years ago. That's on our radar screen to try to solve problems. That's probably the last big pocket of Allegany County that doesn't have really good water. Some people do and some people don't. So that's the last big pocket that I'm aware of in Allegany County that we haven't really solved the problem. Future water projects, they're just on our radar screen. Bell Summer Water Storage Tank. We would like to get a tank out at the end of the system in case something happened that long trunk line that we want to put a community out of water. Flintstones had problems. We identified cost, and it's extremely high because the houses are so far spread apart. So it's going to be a difficult project. Midlothian is on the radar screen, but at this time they're not interested. They run their own water system. Hardwood was interested at one time, and financially we couldn't make that one work at the time. And Baltimore Pike's probably going to drift off our radar screen. We haven't heard from them for years, so we're assuming that there's not a huge problem out there. So, completed water sewer projects, or completed sewer projects. We completed a huge project at Braddock Run. You see it's the third phase. We'll go forward. You'll see we're in the fifth phase. The capacity management operation maintenance plan. We were required to do that because of consent orders. It's a really good. We have in a book. We have all of our lines. We have broke down by sizes. We have locations on there, and we have our how we maintain and what our protocol is for maintaining our system. So, actually, we were required to do it, but it was a good thing to do anyhow. So, it helps our utilities division a lot. Underway sewer projects, Braddock Run. Right now, we're constructing a new pump station at Wrights Crossing, and that serves the majority of Frostburg and the Grahamtown area. It's a huge pump station, and I think it's 1965 vintage, so it really needs to be replaced. We're basically replacing that pump station. Bedford Road, you see we're in phase 4 of that. This is the fourth project we did in the Bedford Road area. What's occurred, a lot of our systems in the county were built in the 1960s, and we're to that point where they need to be replaced or repaired. And sewer didn't get, what happened was sewer lines weren't really maintained too much because you didn't have the public complaint if the sewer line had it. The water line leaks, you hear about it right away. The sewer line leaks, people really haven't brought that to the forefront. But because of the sewer consent orders we're in, now we're moving forward and trying to solve those problems. Braddock Run, that's in phase 5. That will be some more rehabilitation of Braddock Run. Jennings Run, that one's really not underway per se, except we're doing a study. That one has no funding. The first 3 projects have funding, and we're moving forward with the construction. That fourth one, we're in the study phase. That will be a very expensive project. Planned sewer projects, again, here's the important ones that hopefully we get the Commissioner's blessing. Beers Lane is just beyond the Barton Business Park. It's an area that we want to try to hook up to the Barton Business Park. They're having some problems. We hooked them up to the Barton Business Park, but we ran them through septic tanks, and our effluent is very high and hard to treat. We want to eliminate those septic tanks and put a pressure sewer system in. Rawlings, the Rawlings Heights Improvement Association came to us 2 years ago. They went out of business. It's a volunteer organization. They do not want to be in the sewer business anymore. We're attempting, and hopefully that will be one of our big projects we'll be able to move forward in the next couple of years. Water Station Run, that project we're working with the local health department in the area of the septic tanks are filling in that area. We believe we'll be able to get funding to make that move forward through the health department. Evans Creek sewer location, if you go behind the college, we have the sewer line out in the middle of Evans Creek. Actually, Dan DeWitt, one of our engineers, met with Natural Resources this morning, and it looks like we are going to get funding for that project to move forward. So that will not only rehabilitate that section of Evans Creek, but it will get our sewer line out of the middle of the creek. What happens is the creek area has relocated now because we're talking about sewer lines. North Branch Pumping Station, it's old, needs replaced. Let's get to its life. And North Branch Wastewater Treatment Plant clarifier, that clarifier is very old and needs replaced. Future sewer projects, just all of our districts, all these are under consent orders. We're really working towards an end. We're seeing responses by getting lower flows during rain. We're moving forward all those. Locust Grove Wastewater Treatment Plant, something we've looked at with LaVale Sanitary District as a potential project in the future to try to relieve maybe some sort of going to Cumberland, and then some we're analyzing and looking as we move forward. Borden Zillman, they do have problems there, but it's a huge, huge project, and it's going to be difficult to hook that one up, but we have that on radar screen. Vale Summit's kind of the same way. This is what I really liked. When you saw underway projects and when you saw completed projects and underway projects, which basically have been completed in the last year or two, the total project cost, what you saw in there, and this is funding we've actually had in our hand in the last 2 years, so either completed the project last year or we're designing or constructing right now, $18 million. And what I decided to do is put that in red. The total grants is $12.6 million. If you do the math on that, that's 70% grant. The importance of grant funding, the obvious one is that we keep the rates down for our residents. But remember, if they're not paying a loan, that money stays in our community for restaurants and gas and then all the things, cars, etc. So that money stays in our community. I think that the direct result of these PACE meetings has been we've developed relationships with them. We've proven we can get projects done. We can present our case very good. So they've been very, very important projects for us and been very successful. And we look forward to it every year meeting with the agencies. I'm open to questions if you have any questions. I'd like to get your blessing for the agenda.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say we really appreciate everything your department does, Paul. What people have to realize, there's people down there from all over the state looking to get money from funding partners we have an easier time because Paul and his staff, they do so much of his work in-house, so when there's a question asked, they have the answer. So it saves this county a lot of money.
We're surrounded by a group of people who care about what they're doing right now. We're lucky.
So, gentlemen, do we have a motion to approve our PACE agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you down here.
Yes.
Thank you, Paul. That's the one meeting I really look forward to every year.
Everybody else goes to PACE for the reception at night. We start our celebration 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Okay, next up, Allegany County Board of Education fiscal year 2016 budget amendment. And it takes an engineer to turn on the projector.
We know where to store, not computers.
Thank you, Commissioners. Anytime that the Board of Education wishes to change the total amount of its budget that you've approved or spend money in different categories that you've approved, we're required to seek your approval. So last week the board took an action to add $1.5 million to its budget from its fund balance to cover rising healthcare costs. We sent over a letter explaining details. I've talked with Mr. Bennett to answer further questions, so we submit that to you for your consideration.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Do we have a motion to accept the budget amendment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is a rather special item here. It's a nomination for election of the board president for the county commissioners. We're not setting a precedent here. It's always the county commissioners who elect the president of our commission, and Jay has stepped up and said he would like to serve as president of our commission for 2016. I will, for obvious reasons, be abstaining from this vote. Gentlemen, do we have a motion to have Jake as our president effective January 1st, 2016?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Jake.
Before we move on past that, sir, I have to speak on this. Since I've got to serve with 2 presidents, it has been an absolute honor. Bill, you've done a fantastic job because there's nothing about this job that is easy. Nothing. You get blamed for everything regardless. And you stood there and took every bullet that everyone's thrown at you. Well, no, because so much of what I see is well, I ain't going to get into that. You've done us proud. You've done Allegany County proud. So, sir, you've got a lot of big shoes to fill.
It just takes teamwork.
And thank you, Bill. And you know, over the past year, just coming into this, the most frustrating thing, and I know you guys see it all the time, is we'll take the lumps when we do something bad, and we'll take the blame. But for stuff that we have no control over, we still get blamed for that. And that seems to be the most frustrating part of being in office at any level. So thank you, Bill, for doing it this year and taking the brunt of a lot of the public comments and the heat. So thank you.
Okay, let's move on to our consent agenda now.
Commissioners, this evening we have 3 items on our consent agenda. Item number 7 is a motion to approve our annual emergency solutions grant that we received from the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. These funds are passed through to HRDC and the Family Crisis Resource Center. Item number 8 is a motion to approve our current list of salvage yard license applicants for 2016. This would be subject to the county's receipt of a $100 license fee from each one of the applicants. Item number 9 is a motion to authorize the purchase of a new mechanics truck for our roads division. Commissioners, the vehicle, this new vehicle, hopefully will replace is 20 years old, and we can't move fast enough to procure this new vehicle. So those are the 3 items that I have on your agenda this evening, Commissioners.
Gentlemen, do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, County Administrator, do you have any further comments?
Just briefly, Commissioners, it's going to be a while until we meet again. Our next Council meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January the 14th. And so I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Mr. Rudd.
I'll just echo his comments. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everybody. See you next year.
It's the best Christmas present you can get.
Well, thank you.
Commissioner statements, Jake?
Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you next year. But just to echo what Mr. Barclay said earlier, there should be optimism in our community. With all the new construction coming in, looking at Winchester Court, the Aldi, the other buildings, the Holiday Inn, just loves itself. Roughly $19-20 million in new commercial tax base coming into the county, and looking ahead to 16. You got Cracker Barrel, you got Sheetz, you got the Buffalo Wild Wings, and 2 hotels, hopefully in the works, not in Mobile, but in other parts. So, there's a lot of development going on in this county, and I look forward to keeping that momentum going. None of it comes easy, as both of you can attest, and our delegation can attest. It's a team effort, but what's really helped is having the governor and department heads that are on board with trying to get through some of these regulatory issues. So we're not there. I know we can talk about that for a while, that there's still a lot more to go, but $19 million in 6 months is pretty amazing.
Great.
That's right. I don't have really much to say tonight, other than I'm more excited about going to Pates now than Christmas. So, because with me working in the water and sewer industry, I can tell you, if you don't have water and sewer, the basic essentials, you don't have nothing. People can say whatever they want about this is more important than that, and this is more important than that. You got to have water and sewer for anybody to live, for any civilization to move forward even at its basic needs. And with that being said, I'll get off my horse here for a little bit. Merry Christmas to everyone, and thank everybody, every employee of Allegany County for a fantastic year, because everybody has pulled together, worked hard, and it's really, really showed, because we've done about twice as much work as with half as many people as what was here 5 years ago. And I know that that's come at considerable cost, and our employees have sure paid the price for it, but we do most certainly appreciate it. So, Merry Christmas to all.
Well, great. The dirty little secret is that new mechanics truck.
Yeah.
That is our Christmas present to you.
Oh, right.
Because we know that would be the one thing that you would definitely want.
It will be ready.
Yes.
Well, I'm ashamed of that.
You don't get to drive it down. We spoke a little bit earlier about the MACO conference that was held last week. It was a very good conference for Allegany County as a whole. When we're at MACO, we get to have good conversations with many of the state officials, talk to a number of secretaries down there on local issues, and it was created, and Jacob both said, we finally have administration in Annapolis that knows that we're no longer west of Maryland. We truly are western Maryland. I think we'll be getting some help. And Dave and I had a private meeting with the governor before the parade in Frostburg. And the beauty of it was we did not ask the governor for one dime. Most places he goes, people are asking him for money. All we asked him for was regulatory relief. If they get Annapolis off our backs, we can do it on our own. People like Jeff Barkley, everybody else in our economic development division, commissioners keeping a good eye on our budget, our scholarship program, training our young people for the jobs in the future, our Board of Education working hand in hand with our colleges. The county's headed the right direction. And I also want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. It's been a great year. We've got a couple people here who want to speak. Mr. Wilmot.
I'm Frederick Wilmot. I live at 513 Fort Avenue, Cumberland, Maryland. First thing I want to do is our football team, Fort Hill, they're tops. I graduated from Fort Hill in 1954. And what most people don't know, that Fort Hill graduates and families, they back their Fort Hill everything, 100%. In fact, a lot of people don't know that I got a good friend and classmate. He's the one that makes sure that there's enough buses to transport everybody that wants to go downstate. A lot of times he takes money out of his own pocket. People don't know that. I'm not going to say his name, but he's one real nice guy. Anyway, physical fitness is the name of the game. Jim, he goes down there, you know, and he says, teams come out on the field, he said, Fort Hill side is full. He said, you look over the other side, he said, there might be 50 people. Now these people are paying for championship. That goes to show you what we got in common. Just wanted to know. Anyway, the reason I'm here is I think we got a problem with the MVA. If you read the newspaper, there's a guy hit and run accident up on 4th Avenue. Now this guy, he hit my neighbor's car, sideswiped it, blew out a tire, missed my house, my truck, and my car, or my shed, by fractions of inches. Now, if he wouldn't have blew out the tire on it, he'd been cleaned down on Little Brick Road. But anyway, he would, from point of contact to where he stopped, is 223 feet. So, this happened late at night. But anyway, I'm out there. I get out there and I see a bunch of people that are hollering and screaming and come up through my yard and they head down 4th Avenue. So I dialed 911 and I told them, I said, get the police down on Pine Avenue. I said, they're headed down Pine Avenue. I said, they're running. They picked them up a short time later. Anyway, here's the problem. In conversation with the owner of this truck,